Hello, you are watching the Basic Ass Cooking channel. In today's video, we're going to make Tuscan style salmon and spinach pasta. Am I from Tuscany? No. Am I Italian? Also no. But let's make this anyway. So here is a polite wave to the camera as we prepare. Today I'm going to make this recipe with angel hair pasta. You're also going to need a pot of boiling water that you need to point to, and make sure to get the heat underneath it so it begins to boil. You'll also need another pot to cook your salmon and spinach in. So like I said, I'm going to make it with angel hair pasta. You'll also need a splash of heavy cream if you want it to be creamy. I'm going to also use some salmon, some garlic, some Parmesan cheese that is wrapped up, but you can see the rind to know that it is legitimate. None of that pre-shredded stuff. I'll use a little bit of onion and some cherry tomatoes. What are the angel sweet tomatoes? I didn't ask an angel about why those are sweet, but that's what they're called. And also some spinach. I'm going to eat one whole bunch of this spinach. You'll also need a lid for both pots. I'm putting the lid on the pasta pot so it can begin to boil the water. You'll also need some salt and pepper and some Italian seasoning, which I did not have, so I'm going to use herbs de Provence, and some extra virgin olive oil or any kind of oil. You can also use butter. So I'm turning up the heat, and I'm going to add just a little bit, even less than a tablespoon of olive oil. I'm going to unwrap my onion and chop just a little bit of it. Maybe for one serving, you'll only need about 2 tablespoons or so of chopped onion. So put those in the warm oil and enjoy this shot of this really funky sweater that I'm wearing. As usual, put a little bit of salt on your onions so they can start to get softened, release all the water inside, just kind of chill while they heat up. Next, I'm going to add 2 cloves of chopped garlic. Does anyone else get really sticky fingers after they peel garlic? Drives me crazy. I always have to wash my hands after I peel garlic. I can't stand that sticky feeling. So pop the top of the garlic with the back of your knife to make the skins release, and then just chop them up. You can also add a little bit more garlic, perhaps if you are eating alone and don't care about the smell of your breath. I added a little bit of water to the pot because I saw that my onions were getting a bit more brown than I'd like, and the heat was too high. So I turned down the heat, added a little water, and now I'm going to add the garlic. Now it's time for the salmon. So tonight I'm just going to eat a little bit of it. I bought a pound at the store, and so I am here eating maybe a little less than a third of it. Looks like I can maybe get 4 servings, but I'm just eating a little bit. I wasn't super hungry. I'm going to season the salmon with salt and pepper and place it into the pot just on top of the onions. I'm also going to add a little splash of oil on top for a little bit of something extra. You could also use butter, but I was too lazy to walk over and get a little bit of butter, so I just used the oil. Now I'm noticing that my pasta water pot is really doing the business in the background here. So I am going to get a pot holder to safely remove the lid. Turn the heat down a little bit. What am I doing? Oh, I did not put the pasta in yet because it only takes a few minutes to boil. So I will put the pasta into the pot in a little bit. Before I do that though, I'm going to chop up these angel sweet tomatoes. That's what they look like. They're a little wrinkly because I've had them for a few days. Don't judge me, I'm going to eat them, but that's why they're a little bit wrinkly. And when the tomatoes or whatever is a little bit wrinkly, and you don't want to eat it in a salad, you can just include them in hot dishes where they would kind of get cooked and a little bit wrinkly anyway. And that's a good way to eat your wrinkly vegetables and still feel good about yourself. So I am using the pot holder to remove the lid from the hot pot, and I'm going to sprinkle my little halved pieces of angel sweet tomatoes around the salmon, replacing the lid on top of the pot so the food can continue to steam. Next, I am going to grate about maybe a tablespoon or a tablespoon and a half, maybe 2 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese. You can grate as much as you like and eat it the way you would like to. And I feel like this is more than 2 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese, but yeah, it was good. So use the amount that you would like. So very carefully move your Parmesan cheese to the top of your board and make sure some gets on the counter, because this would not be a basic ass cooking video if something did not fall away from where we wanted it to be. Here's my entire bunch of spinach. I'm going to rinse the spinach very thoroughly. My spinach was kind of dirty, like some of my jokes in other videos. But I rinsed all of those little pieces of dirt from the spinach, and now I am going to very, very horribly chop the spinach up. Fun fact, I actually eat the leaf part and the stems of the spinach, except maybe the last half of an inch or so. And I am still alive and have never become sick from this. And I don't know why people actually chop off or why they don't eat the stems. Seems fine. Maybe not in a salad, but if you're gonna cook it, it's totally fine just to eat as much of it as you can. Eat all of it if you want to. So I'm going to add all of that spinach, making sure to drop some on the stove. Also making sure not to burn my finger as I pick up those dropped pieces. And eventually, off camera, it did all get into the pot. Now I'm going to season that layer with salt and pepper. And finally, a little bit of herbs de Provence. I only put maybe about maybe that was a teaspoon of this seasoning, just a little bit. Oh, don't forget, stir it up. So I'm gonna just toss the spinach around a little bit. And you can see that the spinach in just that short amount of time is already beginning to wilt down to nada. So I'm replacing the lid so it all steams and will cook quickly. Now, finally, that my salmon and sauce and spinach is almost done, I'm going to salt the water and put in the angel hair pasta. You guys like my pasta holder? Look at that. Just use a rubber band. I know that they sell devices to hold your pasta, but if you don't want to buy one of those, don't let them force you into buying a special container for your pasta. Just use a rubber band. Jeez. So I'm adding a splash of cream to my salmon mixture. So this is how I'm making the sauce. So the tomatoes have kind of burst. So you have some flavorful juices from that. And then with the cream and the Parmesan, you just kind of mix it all together and it makes a nice sauce. It's similar to an Alfredo sauce, but with much less cheese, but similar ingredients. So I'm just adding my Parmesan off to the side here so I can kind of mix it together and then move everything around in the pot so it all mixes together. But this is not really necessary. You can just kind of dump Parmesan cheese into almost anything. It melts very, very easily. Here I'm going to get a little bit and taste it off camera. And it was good. Thumbs up. So I've drained my pasta. I only made a little bit because I didn't want to feel too sleepy after eating this. So I just made a very little bit of pasta. And I'm going to attempt to plate this like I am some kin to Gordon Ramsay, but let's be honest, I am not. My salmon broke into 2 pieces, but that's okay. I still ate it and it all tasted the same, both pieces. Amazing. So I'm going to plate my spinach and tomato and sauce mixture, making sure to block the shot with the pot. Okay, and that is dinner. You can make this if you're not filming yourself in about 15 minutes. So thank you very much for watching the Basic Ass Cooking channel. Here's some really nice footage of how delicious this turned out. This is what I wanted to eat the day after Thanksgiving. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I will see you next time.